you're in for a treat. Last night, sealed away in a musty corridor, a select committee of whiz kids, whippersnappers, and whiskey drinkers yearned and toiled. They burned the midnight oil to compose the best segment in all of sports television. Like every Wednesday, it's my honor and it's a privilege. It's time for Nick's Tears.
Indeed it is, one of the last editions of the Tiers of this NFL season. And as you will see at the top of the tiers, there's a little vindication for the committee. However, we must start with teams that are no longer playing. Full rebuild. These 11 teams are in a full rebuild mode. 2 of them just won recent Super Bowls. They are now, the cupboard is bare. The 3 above them are in a full rebuild despite allegedly having their franchise quarterback, and they may not even know they're in a full rebuild, but you are. The teams at the very top are in a full rebuild, but they're actually excited about it. 3 of the top 4 picks of the draft, tons of cap space, coach openings, all of that. All right, next group, QB purgatory, and then frisky. These 6 teams right now are all being held hostage to one degree or another by the quarterback position. In Green Bay, is he in or is he out? In Minnesota, it's like, all right, Kirk Cousins, and same with Tennessee. Is Ryan Tannehill is too good to get rid of, but we know we can't win. Washington, who knows what they're doing, and then the Steelers and the Patriots, who are really good franchises with great coaches, but, pardon me, quarterbacks who just are not going to be able to get the job done.
Bad take there, guys.
Yeah, bad take caught my throat. Frisky. These 5 teams didn't make the playoffs, but all of them should be super excited for next season, and with the right tweaks, with the Jets and Raiders situation, with the right quarterback additions, they could be teams that could do real damage next season. Now, to the actual tiers. Should be playing. They were eliminated. These 2 teams were eliminated last week, but they have to feel like they should still be playing. For the Ravens, even without Lamar, if not for the 98-yard, 14-point swing win, Tyler Huntley tried to go full Trevor Lawrence. And for the Chargers, you're up 27-0 against a team many people picked to finish last in their own division. Feel like they should be playing. I feel like maybe at least one of them should be playing, but they're not. Next. 2 great coaches, 1 great quarterback. Both Dable and Peterson have done brilliant jobs thus far this season. Both of their seasons likely end this weekend, but both these fan bases should feel great about the direction of their teams because of their coaches, and in Jacksonville, of course, also because of the quarterback. Overhyped and underhyped. So the Buffalo Bills, all year long, have been a historically overhyped team that at every turn since September has not lived up to it. They ended the season with some games just like, what happened there? This playoff game, they would have lost to Skylar Thompson if Mike McDaniel, who I like, understood the play clock's only 40 seconds, not 65 seconds, buddy. The Cowboys, on the other hand, I think a little underhyped. The Cowboys, who had a Dak Prescott injury, who dealt with that for 5 weeks, who were in supposedly the best division in all of football, still found their way to 12 wins, still found their way to having different points of the season where they had either a top 3 offense or a top 3 defense, yet no one believes in them. Perfect bracket. I'd been saying for quite some time I thought the Eagles would be one and done in the postseason, but that all changed when the Giants beat the Vikings, and then also the Cowboys beat the Bucks. If the Eagles could not have scripted a better opening weekend on the NFC side, aside from, of course, San Francisco losing, which was never going to happen. The Eagles now get a divisional opponent who, as Brew mentioned earlier, they annihilated earlier this season in their first playoff game, and then in their second playoff game, they will be in Philadelphia either against Brock Purdy or against a team they are very familiar with. They feel great about how the bracket has fallen. Next, hot shooter. Not like a hot shooter in basketball, a hot shooter like in craps, where it's all luck, but you got to keep going with it. The Bengals' turnover luck at some point will turn. They hope it is not this week against Buffalo, and even if it does turn, Buffalo will probably turn it right back with Josh Allen to them. The Bengals, and if it does turn, luckily for them, they have, in my humble opinion, the best quarterback-wide receiver combo in all of the football with Burrow and Chase, and they have pedigree of being able to go on the road and win tough playoff games. Devastating versatility. You put Christian McCaffrey, Kyle Juszczyk, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, and Deebo Samuel on the field. You can have 2 tight ends if you want. You can have 2 running backs. You can go 5 wide. You can wait and see what personnel the defense puts out there. and you can put, you're going to put your corners out there to guard them as receivers. We're going to run it right down you. You're going to put big people out there. We're going to spread you out. And then if none of that works, you have the best defense in all of football. That's devastating versatility. And then finally, the top of the tiers, as they were at the beginning, the middle, and the end of the year, please unveil it. The committee told you so. We warned you. And you scoffed and you said the committee, the chairman emeritus of the committee, was being biased. And then wouldn't you know it? They are the Vegas Super Bowl favorites. They finished with the league's MVP. They finished with the league's best record. They finished with maybe a top 3 candidate for Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year in Travis Kelce, the league's MVP, and the playoffs once again go through Arrowhead. And by the way, they're the healthiest they've been all year. Seems like an overwhelming favorite. So there it is. Chris Broussard.
Solid.
The committee's top 2 to start the season is the top 2 as we approach the end of the season.
Shame on you, Nick Wright.
For what?
Shame on
What?
The Chiefs, look, I'm not going to sit here and act like they don't have a great shot. Chiefs, Bills, Bengals are all right there. So we'll see who wins this battle royal between those 3. But the Chiefs, they should not be on the top of the tiers. Here's why. Number one, they aren't even the hottest team in the league, okay? They got a little 5-game win streak with 1 playoff opponent, all right? And you talked about, the Bengals or who it was, the Bills, some baffling games at the end of the season. Well, they have the same record as the Chiefs, 14-3, and the Chiefs struggled with Denver and struggled with Houston. So let's not act like they were just running through everybody, all right? Cincinnati's got a 9-game win streak against Buffalo, 8-game win streak, San Francisco, 11-game win streak, and all 3 of those teams have beaten multiple playoff teams in their win streak. Yeah. Secondly, they aren't the most balanced team. Their defense gave up 33 touchdown passes this year. That's the most in the league. So obviously Mahomes is fantastic, but the defense a bit leaky. And third, the head-to-head, I get it. It's not the standings, but apparently it's not head-to-head either. Because Buffalo beat Kansas City, Cincinnati beat Kansas City head-to-head.
Before I go, who would you have at the top?
Not Kansas City.
Who would it be?
That's my point. And you can put San Francisco up there if you
want.
want.
But I thought head-to-head mattered.
Yeah, so put Buffalo and Cincinnati ahead of Kansas City.
Okay, but I'm just very confused because you said San Francisco. Go ahead.
My point is this, though. Kansas City should not be number 1. And Wildes, what did Buffalo do when they went to Kansas City?
I can't,
They slept in their bed.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
They raided the refrigerator and they used their toothbrush.
Oh, yeah.
So this
head-to-head matters.
Okay, head-to-head matters.
So put Buffalo and Cincinnati ahead of San Francisco. You just can't have
Kansas City. So you would have Kansas City 4th on your tiers, which is why you don't have them. Kansas City, the reason San Francisco doesn't have a 12-game winning streak, has an 11-game winning streak, is because Kansas City went there and beat them by 3 touchdowns.
Okay, that's
and as
good.
far as beating opponents, no team in the league this year had more victories over playoff teams than, let me check real quick, the Kansas City Chiefs. They also have the best record and the best player in home field. So it seems like they should be the Vegas favorites. Let me check. They are, so they're atop the tiers. Stink, go right ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go to Philadelphia because I just think I think they are way too low. So what is when you talk about team and you talk about championship caliber team, what do you have to have? Just a great quarterback?
No.
You got to have a great team, right? You got to have a great defense, Let's look at the great defense. Let's look at the defensive statistics. Let's look at sack numbers because everybody wants to go after how many sacks you get. Who led the league in pressures on the quarterback and sacks this season? Oh, there they are right there. The Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, what's the standard for great offense? Hey, can you find yourself 400 yards? I just talked to Tom Brady about it. He goes, can you find 400 yards? Because that's what you have to have. Yeah, Who had the most 400-yard games in football? Offensive. The Eagles. And yet where are they on the 4th?
They're 4th.
4th on the perfect bracket, 4th?
Yeah.
Should they not be higher than 4th? They clearly the best record, the best. I mean, look, go on and on and on it goes. And they lost a couple of games late. Yeah, because they didn't have their starting quarterback.
But can I ask you a question?
Yeah, please ask it.
Are you convinced they're going to have?
No, but that's not the point. convinced or not.
No, you're not convinced they're going to
waiting.
have the same start, that level. I mean, Jalen Hurts will be there, but you seem a little anxious that he's not going to be the Jalen Hurts from a month ago.
Trust me, I am a little anxious about that. I am a little
I
anxious.
got to tell you, Wildes.
This is not. You guys have underperformed. It's playoff time. It's playoff tiers.
I thought I had some
No,
good
you
facts.
fell into a bear trap of like head-to-head matters. But the 49ers, I was like, oh my gosh. I was trying to edit it out on the fly. I was like, let's go. And you were picking the Giants over the Eagles like earlier in the show.
No, I didn't pick the Giants. I said
On the verge.
No.
You were on the verge.
Wild.
My
Same.
goodness. All right. Gosh darn it. I think the Cowboys are being disrespected.
Oh.
Here's why. First of all, Micah Parsons back. Line against the Bucs. 1 sack, 2 tackles for a loss, 2 passes smacked down, 10 pressures on Tom Brady, 3 press conferences, gave us some good content. He said he was going to do something. He did it. Shout out to Micah Parsons. Reason number 2, Dak's back. Oh, Dak's throwing interceptions. Okay, I guess so. Well, he didn't. And when he was throwing interceptions, he was 5-2 in those 7 games. Here's his numbers. Can you reveal them? Here they come. Completion percentage, fantastic. Total yards, we added up as rushing yards. He had 7 rushing attempts, the most all year. So maybe he's doing a little more
I like
running.
that.
Total touchdowns, 5, fantastic. 0
It's a
turnovers.
perfect game.
Yeah, perfect game.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring him up. Guess who else is back? Mike McCarthy. Oh, Mike McCarthy. He's got Sean Payton breathing down his neck. Nope, he's back. And guess what? Broke out a little Kirk Cousins style chain celebrating. He said, I think he was doing he was in between doing the gritty and some other dance. I forgot what it was. Not great dancing, but I think that's the sign of a guy with job security.
Right. Next week,
Can they go into San
throw
Francisco?
It 3 yards on 4th and 8. Let's see McCarthy.
Can they go into San Francisco and win? I'm not sure. Also, I don't care because the tiers are snapshot
in time.
Yeah, you don't have to.
You know what? Because I had San Francisco before the playoffs, and right now going to the Super Bowl. So Kevin Wildes, unlike your compatriots, you make a compelling, great argument.
No.
And you know what? I don't know if we can show the tiers again. Let's go ahead and bump the Cowboys up.
You know what?
I was hesitant to put the Cowboys by themselves, aside from the Bills, because I was like, oh, Nick hates the Bills. But the committee was thinking something similar. So you know what? We're just going to put overhyped as its own thing, underhyped as its own thing. So the Cowboys are right there beneath the Eagles, above Buffalo. Kevin Wildes, great work.
You know,
I'm glad you saved that segment.
That's total recency bias. You have one game, and I've got a full season where they're the best at the 2
snapshot in time.
Also, the Tom Brady thing, we saw that.
Yeah,
pick that name up for that.
You got to pick that
I was just talking to Tom Brady, and he told me, oh, that.
Yeah, exactly.
Brady, speaking of, your buddy. Did he say anything about going back to the
No, but he stared deeply into my eyes.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.